How to make money in ant keeping. Do you have a passion for ants or ant keeping? Do you want to learn how to make money in the hobby but just can't figure out where to start? In this video, I'll teach you how to do just that, make money in ant keeping. We'll cover all the different options and I'll teach you the pros and cons to help you decide what method will work best for you. Keep watching to the end where I'll share with you what I do to make money in ant keeping. But first, welcome to another episode of The Ant Keeper, where I upload every week about all things ant related. If you find yourself enjoying this video, then subscribe and join the AK Colony. Your support really helps me out and I'll really appreciate it. Also, I'm working at reaching 2,000 subscribers by this channel's 1 year anniversary in September. Thank you to the 1,723 that have supported this channel so far. You are amazing. People always talk to me about trying to make money in ant keeping, which leads me to many long and interesting conversations where I try to help anyone I can. Personally, as a buyer, that is someone who spends money regularly buying stuff all the time, and as an active member in the hobby, I feel qualified to give my opinion on what is the best way to make money from ant keeping. Let's go from the least profitable method to make money to the most profitable method, analyzing the pros and cons. To clarify, this is my opinion and someone else may have an entirely different perspective to me. Let's get started. First is having a YouTube channel. You may think, well, The Ant Keeper, there are hundreds if not thousands of content creators on YouTube making millions of dollars per year or even per month, like Mr. Beast, PewDiePie, Markiplier, just to name a few. And it's true, there certainly is money to be made if you put the work in and get very lucky. However, for 99% of new creators, it's a long, hard slog before you even become monetized, let alone make some sort of income. To make videos that people actually want to watch costs money, which means by the time you finally become monetized, you're running at a loss. You're in the negatives. I think any YouTuber that makes regular videos knows this. In fact, I can confidently say in behalf of all content creators, we all make videos because we enjoy it, not for the money. If you wanted to make money, YouTube is not the platform to do it on. Honestly, you'd make more money from asking strangers for $1 than you would making videos on YouTube. So if you're gonna make videos on YouTube, do it for any reason other than to try and make money. Alright, I wanted to get that one out the way because that comes up a lot. Next is promoting other people's products. This is a real attainable way to make a tiny amount of money or potentially a lot with barely any upfront cost. To do this, you need to advertise on a social platform like Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, or maybe even TikTok. From here, you need to build a following base from regularly creating original content that people actually want to see. As your following grows, companies will eventually approach you to show off their product. Think about this. The formula is simple. The more people that will see your post, the more money you get. Easy, right? There is a catch though, there's always a catch. The catch to this method is even though it doesn't cost money, it does cost something far more valuable. Time. Think about it. How long will it take you to build a following on a social platform that's worth being paid to advertise someone's product? Months? Years even? Some celebrities get paid 7 figures for a single post. The opportunity is certainly out there, although you will have to work hard building that audience. Okay, so social media isn't the get-rich-quick scheme you may have been hoping for, but it's okay. There are much better ways to make money. Here are the following methods I would recommend. Have you ever been browsing on a website that sells ant products and noticed the company is offering money for queen ants? This method relies a lot on 2 variables outside of your control. 1 being time of year, and 2, luck. If you like me and have as much luck as a duck that can't quack, then I wouldn't rely on this method as a sole source of income. Although you could use this as a chance to make some pocket money on the side. Also, go to forums and find out what people want. Or just listen now. I want a Phydalia Antipotum Queen or Small Colony. I bought one, but it died in the post. Of course it did. See, I'm unlucky. If you have one, name your price. See, it's easy. Find ant keepers in the area, talk to them, and keep a lookout when you're walking around outside next. It's a win-win. The next step up from finding queen ants is raising and selling established colonies. A queen ant on its own is worth less than a queen ant with the first generation of workers. There is a balance to be had though. I think there isn't an exact number, although the principle applies for the vast majority of ants around the world. Once you get to say 30 workers, it isn't necessarily worth less than say 50 workers. If I were raising colonies to sell for a higher price than just the queen, I would wait for the first generation to become established before selling. I think this is the sweet spot for selling colonies, because people want to enjoy and watch the colony grow. It's more fun when it's just the first generation of workers, I think. The last thing you want, both for your reputation as a seller and for the good of the buyer, is to sell an unhealthy queen or even an infertile queen. Buyers beware. If you're buying a queen and she doesn't have any eggs or larvae yet, she could be infertile, so watch out. As I mentioned before, finding queens is seasonal. However, making Waitong nests is not. I've done a whole video on how to make your very own Waitong nest. It's actually really easy and a lot cheaper than buying a professionally made one from a company. Although some people can't make them because they don't have the time, tools or interest, and that's okay. But this is where you come in. You could easily buy the resources needed cheap and make dozens of Waitong nests on the weekend. Then you could sell them on as many online marketplaces and social media sites as you can. The upfront cost is small, and you can make do with someone else's tools or buy second-hand tools to get started. This would be a great idea for those interested in making some money. I don't know if this is a uniquely Australian issue, or I'm just looking in all the wrong places, but there seems to be a constant supply issue with nests both Waitong and acrylic in design. Speaking of acrylic, I'm going to lump acrylic nests, outworlds, and 3D printing in the same avenue for generating money for the next idea. I've put this money-making method next because of its higher buy-in price, higher level of attention to detail, with higher profits to be made. Acrylic and 3D printing requires more money upfront to set up and get started, requiring specialized tools and know-how to operate. My good friend Aesthetic Ants is a great example of someone who has spent the time and his own resources to learn how to make amazing products with his 3D printers. I'll leave the link to his website in the description below. He's a great guy who makes some amazing stuff. Be sure to check him out. As with all things for sale, the more complex it is to make, the more it costs. For an exaggerated example, consider a hot dog. It's pretty cheap to make and pretty cheap to sell, whereas a Rolex is complex to make and costs a lot to buy. I think 3D printing is still fairly new and an untouched area in the ant keeping space. If you could create and design a simple product, you could make yourself a handsome sum. Take these little water feeders. They're great. This person has found the problem we ant keepers all endure. That is finding a way to hydrate our ants without them drowning in the water or turning their home into a black mold death house. They've created this simple but elegant design and attached this little glass jar on top. It's simple. You too could create something like this. If you don't know where to start, find a problem and fix it. It's a lot easier to sell a solution than a luxury. Alright, we're now stepping up into bigger ideas. You could gather all of these ideas or some of them and create an online shop or forum for people to browse and buy your products. If you really wanted to, you could run Google Ads, although I wouldn't recommend it. Rather, work hard at creating a product that people want. Your website could include a forum, which could keep people coming back to your website, creating a sort of one-stop shop for your customers. There are many ways you can make lots of money. However, before you take action on one of these ideas, you should ask yourself, what's your motivation behind making money in ant keeping? Where do you draw the line between working hard to make an honest income to making money to the detriment of the community? I'll give you an example. Would you raid wild colonies and sell them to ant keepers? It's vital you consider your ethics and the community first. Instead of simply trying to make Waitong nests for a quick buck, you should make Waitong nests because there's a shortage and you want to help supply the nests to the community. Instead of starting a YouTube channel to be the next Ants Canada, make a YouTube channel because you love making videos about ants. So I've left it long enough. What do I do to make money in ant keeping? The truth is, I don't make any money. I'm into ant keeping because I love ant keeping. In fact, I have never put an ant or an item up for sale. I'm not interested in making money from the hobby. I make enough money in my real job. Instead, I give my excess away to my friends and to the AK Colony to help promote the amazing industrious ant. Instead of getting paid with money, I get paid with satisfaction. I love promoting the ant keeping community and all things ants to anyone interested to listen. If you made it this far, then make sure to hit the like button if you enjoyed this video. It really helps me out. Also, have you subscribed and become part of the AK Colony? If you haven't, then what are you waiting for? Subscribe and be a part of one of the fastest growing colonies here on YouTube. Thank you for watching this week's episode. I'll see you on the next video. Until then, ant keepers unite.